I just said, I'm glad you love my readings because they make me as nervous as can be. But that's okay. I just part and parcel. Because anyway, my reading today is about Ingmar Bergman. Ingmar Bergman was a Swedish film director who made deeply philosophical movies about the human condition. Cries and Whispers, The Seventh Seal, The Virgin Spring, Wild Strawberries, Winter Light. These are a few of his great films. A few years ago, I came across this untitled writing by him, and I have mixed feelings about it, but I decided to share it anyway. People ask, what are my intentions with my films, my aims? It is a difficult and dangerous question, and I usually give an evasive answer. I try to tell the truth about the human condition, the truth as I see it. This answer seems to satisfy everyone, but it is not quite correct. I prefer to describe what I would like my aim to be. There is an old story of how the Cathedral of Chartres in France was struck by lightning and burned to the ground. Then thousands of people came from all points of the compass, like a giant procession of ants, and together they began to rebuild the cathedral on its old site. They worked until the building was completed. Master builders, artists, laborers, noblemen, priests, aristocrats, but they all remained anonymous, and no one knows to this day who built the Cathedral of Chartres. Regardless of my own beliefs and my own doubts, which are unimportant in this connection, it is my opinion that art lost its basic creative drive that moment it was separated from worship. It severed an umbilical cord and now lives its own sterile life, generating and degenerating itself. In former days, the artist remained unknown and his work was to the glory of God. He lived and died without being more or less important than other artisans. Eternal values, immortality, and masterpiece were terms not applicable in his case. The ability to create was a gift. In such a world flourished invulnerable assurance and natural humility. I love that phrase, I'm going to repeat it. In such a world flourished invulnerable assurance and natural humility. Today, the individual has become the highest form and the greatest bane of artistic creation. The smallest wound or pain of the ego is examined under a microscope as if it were of eternal importance. The artist considers his isolation, his subjectivity, his individualism almost holy. Thus, we finally gather in one large pen where we stand and bleat about our loneliness without listening to each other and without realizing that we are smothering each other to death. The individualists stare into each other's eyes and yet deny the existence of each other. We walk in circles so limited by our own anxieties that we no longer distinguish between true and false, between the individual's whim and the purest ideal. This last paragraph, you may be wondering why I chose to read this. This is his last paragraph, which I like the best. Thus, if I am asked what I would like the general purpose of my films to be, I would reply that I want to be one of the artists in the cathedral on the Great Plain. I want to make a dragon's head, an angel, a devil, or perhaps a saint out of stone. It does not matter which. It is the sense of satisfaction that counts. Regardless of whether I believe or not, whether I am a Christian or not, I would play my part in the collective building of the cathedral. Thank you.